centers in Indonesia.
Check. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start our webinar opening program shortly. May we have your cooperation to turn on the camera and mute the microphone on your device, unless you are the speaker. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, really sorry about the error that we made. Okay, Honorable the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia.
Respecting the Director of SEAMEO Secretariat, the Acting Head of Bureau for Cooperation and Public Relations, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia,
the governing board members of the SEAMEO Centers Indonesia, the directors and deputies director for 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia.
Webinar participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We wish everyone in good health today.
I am Rita Anggarwati and my partner Rima Febriana, who will be the master ceremonies for the international webinar on contribution and impacts of SEAMEO Centers Indonesia on education in Indonesia and Southeast Asia this morning.
First of all, allow me to welcome all of you and express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to your participation in this virtual webinar.
Ladies and gentlemen, preceded our agenda this morning, may we present you the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya, SEAMEO Color, and SEAMEO Song.
promoting knowledge and policies, we can build a better world. Let us take a stand for our visions alone, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dream. Here at SEAMEO, building the future is our legacy. We'll achieve our goals through partnership, creating opportunities. By working hand in hand, we can accomplish all our dreams. For a better quality of life is now within our reach. Let us take a stand for our visions alone, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dream. Here at SEAMEO, building the future is our legacy. Let us take a stand for our visions alone, making future plans for the people to grow in a life filled with happiness and dream. Here at SEAMEO, building the future is our legacy. Building the future is our legacy. At SEAMEO,
Ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia hosted by
Okay, really sorry about that. Mbak Rima, would you please to probably say that again because the host is muted too just now.
we apologize for the technical problem. So, 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia, Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia, and under coordination of SEAT, has contributed remarkable achievement supporting education development within the region.
The webinar today is organized to promote the roles and contribution of SEAMEO centers in Indonesia for education development in Indonesia and Southeast Asian region. To give better understanding about the centers and webinar event, may I invite Dr. Alfa Amirahman, the Director of SEAMEO Semolek, to deliver welcome remarks on behalf of 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia. Dr. Alfa, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia, or the official representative, the Honorable High Officials of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia, Honorable SEAMEO Secretariat Director, respective speakers, distinguished colleagues and participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. Selamat pagi. It is indeed a great pleasure for me on behalf of all directors of the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia to welcome you to this international webinar held in collaboration between the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia and the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia. SEAMEO stands for the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization. It is a regional organization established in 1965, aimed to promote regional cooperation in the fields of education, science, and culture within the region. There are currently 26 centers under the auspices of SEAMEO, and 7 of them are located in Indonesia. They are SEAMEO Biotrop, SEAMEO CISEP, SEAMEO KITEP in language, SEAMEO KITEP in mathematics, SEAMEO KITEP in science, SEAMEO RECFON, and SEAMEO SEAMOLEC. In Indonesia, these 7 SEAMEO centers are coordinated under the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia's National Development Plan emphasizes the importance of sustainable development with education as one of the priority agendas. The country has commitment to ensure each and every Indonesian having access to education, from early childhood education to adult education and lifelong learning. To achieve this goal, the government engages all education players to work together under the Educational Development Framework, including the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia. Indonesia is also committed to supporting the advancement of the SEAMEO 7 priority areas. One of the national education priorities currently applied by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology of Indonesia is the Merdeka Belajar, or independent learning policy. This concept is interpreted as convenience and flexibility for students to gain access to education at anywhere, anytime, according to their interests, their talents, their abilities. The 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia responded this Merdeka Belajar concept with enthusiasm by developing programs that are aligned within it. In reliance with the National Education Day, or Hari Pendidikan Nasional, or Hardiknas, which is celebrated annually every 2nd of May, the 7 centers initiated this international webinar with the main theme, Contribution and Impacts of SEAMEO Centers Indonesia on Education in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present a brief overview of this webinar. We conceived this webinar for the following objectives, namely, first, to emphasize the relevance of celebrating Hardiknas of Indonesia. Second, to highlight the critical roles of the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia play in the education sector of Indonesia and in Southeast Asia. Third, to share the efforts of the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia in generating knowledge and building capacities of schools head, teachers, and education personnel toward enhancing the quality of education in Indonesia and in Southeast Asia. And lastly, to establish potential collaboration between the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia and with your respective institutions, our dear webinar participants. We are honored to have no less than the visionary and trailblazing Minister of Education, Culture, and Research Technology of Indonesia, His Excellency Nadiem Anwar Makarim, to formally open our webinar this morning, or his official representative. Our plenary speakers consist of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Ainun Naim, and the SEAMEO Secretariat Director, Dr. Ethel Valenzuela. Dr. Ainun will share with us the relevance and impacts of Hardiknas on the education sector of Indonesia and Southeast Asia, while Dr. Ethel will elaborate the important roles of SEAMEO centers in Indonesia in improving the quality of education in Southeast Asia. I do hope that you will find the panel discussion with the directors of the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia interesting and relevant as we share with you our humble contributions and the impacts we have made so far on enhancing the quality of education in Indonesia as well as in other SEAMEO member countries. We look forward to interacting with you during the questions and answer portion. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my co-directors of SEAMEO centers in Indonesia, I would like to express our appreciation to all of you for joining our international webinar today. I'd like to believe that your presence here indicates your desire to collaborate with us along the 7 education priority areas of SEAMEO and the current strategic plan of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia towards achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 4 of ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this virtual event will be held as expected. Let's have a wonderful sharing and fruitful discussion. Once again, welcome to our international webinar and very good morning to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Director. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize that due to unavoidable circumstances, His Excellency, the Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Nadiem Makarim, could not join us today. However, we would like to present the video presentation of him during the last week's SEAMEO Congress, which is in line and in relevance with the efforts of SEAMEO Center in Indonesia in improving the quality of education. Ladies and gentlemen, may we now present the video of His Excellency, the Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Nadiem Makarim.
Excellency Dr. Razi Jidin, Senior Minister Education, Malaysia and SEAMEO Council President, Honorable Assistant Director General for Education, UNESCO Headquarters, France, Mrs. Stefania Giannani, Honorable Director of SEAMEO Secretariat, Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are currently living in one of the most challenging times we've experienced, not just for the ministers of education, but also for entire governments and all swaths of sectors. This pandemic has upended hundreds and millions of lives. And it is the biggest global challenge that I have certainly lived through. Against this backdrop, currently our goal in Indonesia right now is how do we ensure that children are continuing to learn and continuing to grow. And this is a very, very challenging issue because what we've noticed during this pandemic are key exacerbation of problems that were already existing. The first and foremost is the technology gap, which has become far more apparent during the pandemic, and how the technology gap and the economic gap play a huge part in inequity in the educational space and therefore downstream in the economic space as well, especially in developing countries with vastly diverse geographic infrastructure, vastly diverse cultural diversity, and economic discrepancies and divergence is worsening with the pandemic. The second part is really the challenge of how to assess, quantify the loss of learning that has happened, and the very challenging decisions are deciding after finding out that how to actually play catch up and what are the most effective ways without recreating some of the mistakes in the past. And so the third big challenge here is really exposing different levels of digital literacy also among teachers in certain areas that have learned quickly about how to use technology, and how to adapt creatively to the pandemic and distance learning, and those that have not. And this is, I think, remains to be the biggest gap, that will have the biggest gap on educational and learning outcomes, is the ability for teachers to teach themselves new skills and new competencies, and their willingness and courage to adopt technologies which they may fear in the short term, technologies which may make them feel uncomfortable. But the pandemic has clearly shown the gap between those that are much more digitally literate or are willing to learn faster, and those that aren't. Outside of these kind of new challenges are things that were, I think, traditional challenges, but have been exacerbated by the pandemic. We're coming to terms much more powerfully now that the flexibility of the curriculum, the ability for the curriculum to adapt to each of the regional and specific school needs and specific student needs are even greater. The pandemic has also exposed how budgeting flexibility and the ability to kind of give autonomy in decision-making on budgets at the school level has become a critical component in the ability for the school to take quick action and to take iterative, innovative steps to tackle not just the educational issues, but also the health issues and economic issues that the pandemic has caused. So we're seeing a lot of validation for things that were previously instinctively known, but during the pandemic, this became far more exposed, and therefore the impetus or the motivation to change has also increased. So now we move into a few opportunities here, and there are definitely some opportunities that the pandemic has opened. I think the first and foremost is we've never ever seen the level of adoption by teachers on a variety of technological platforms. I don't think we've seen this globally. Definitely have not seen this in Indonesia before. But the pandemic has pushed many teachers, millions in Indonesia, to actually go outside of their comfort zone and finally learn new platforms and understand the power of those platforms that I believe will persist even after the pandemic has been put under control. The second, I think, opportunity is parents finally realizing that school is a lot more than an institution to outsource education of their children, and that participation of parents, we've never seen this many parents actually opening textbooks and trying to understand curriculum and trying to support their children academically to this extent. And I think that that could very well be a very positive trend, despite the stress that is causing a huge amount of parents. And then, of course, I think the familiarity with utilizing technology as a way of collaborating between teachers, parents, and students is something that we've really never seen before. This kind of triangle of collaboration that is happening on these platforms, I think, is going to add a huge number of opportunities in improving learning outcomes and improving learning participation among all of these parties. So moving forward, we have to close the digital gap first and foremost by ensuring that connectivity is spread across all regions and putting clear emphasis on the education sector to be able to access access the internet is going to be a level, kind of foundational level of connectivity that is required for us to do any type of improvements in the future. So first is internet connectivity. Second is ensuring that the schools actually have the toolkits, actually have the devices in order to use technology. The third is the ability for teachers to access a huge amount of independent learning to understand how technology can help in the classroom. I think a lot of the innovation in ed tech focuses on how to, and understandably, how to create revenue from parents wanting to pay for supplementary materials and courses for their students. But I think the huge, bigger opportunity to improve learning outcomes is technology for teachers. Technology for teachers to spend less time in administrative purposes, spend less time in manual tasks, and focusing a lot more thinking time and collaborating time with other teachers to think about how to make their classes better. So I think technology for teachers and by teachers is going to play a critical role in increasing the quality of education in the future, enabling teachers to be able to do rapid assessments and diagnostics on their class and being able to segment their class, being able to personalize their classes, being able to do innovative models like the flipped classroom, in which they watch materials at home and then go and solve problem sets in schools. The ability for the first time to perfectly personalize homework for every single student. These are all the opportunities that are available with technology. Digitizing the curriculum, digitizing the materials, and providing autonomy for both the teachers and the students to actually access that is one of the greatest opportunities, I think, in educational technology today. But that will need to be supported by a series of legislations that focus on providing autonomy of budgeting, autonomy and flexibility on the curriculum, and also a simplification of the bureaucratic and administrative requirements that teachers have to undergo in order to continue in their career, and so on. So the big challenge in Indonesia today is the shift from the administration of education to the achievement of learning. And this is one of the most challenging, but I think one of the most important goals that certainly technology can play a huge role in. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, His Excellency, for sending us a clear message. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are still waiting for the presence of the Honorable Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia. While waiting for your convenience, we are going to take pictures to memorize this precious occasion. May we request our guests of honors and all panelists to turn on the camera for group picture. But then we are going to divide into two sections. Kindly please follow my lead. The first section, may we invite all the research persons, VIPs and BODs of the 7 SEAMEO Center to open the cameras. Other panelists, please kindly wait and close the camera. Our IT team will manage to do this. Okay, I just got one message. IT person, would you please help to share? Seth is actually in the participants, and we need to move him into the panelists. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so probably the picture taking is going to be doing later after the opening ceremony. So welcome, His Excellency. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, now may we have the honor of inviting Professor Ainun Naim, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia, to present his remarks and officially open the international webinar on behalf of His Excellency, the Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia. Professor Naim, the time is yours.
Morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable SEAMEO Secretariat Director, Alhamdulillah, SEAMEO Centers first, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is very pleasure to be here joining the international seminar or webinar of the SEAMEO centers. Education has long been highly regarded as an important pillar for national development of Indonesia. Our 1945 Constitution mandates our government to advance the intellectual life of our country by providing well-quality education for our people. To ingrain this in the hearts and minds of every Indonesian, our government declared the observance of National Education Day in 1959 every second day of May for the honor of Ki Hajar Dewantara, who had championed this cause as our first ministers of education. Through the years, Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology. This is the new name of the Ministry of Education and Culture, the previous name, because now we cover research and technology development in Indonesia. So through the years, this minister continues to strive in providing innovative and cross-cutting programs and policies to equip our citizens with knowledge and skills to effectively compete in the global market, as well as to become development change agents on the country. I believe this is also true in other countries. I have known from my interactions with the ministers of education, particularly in Southeast Asia. I must say that we share a common education vision for the people of our region as member countries of the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization, or SEAMEO. Today's seminar, I learned, aims to highlight the important roles of the 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia in responding to the need of enhancing the quality of education in SEAMEO member countries. Allow me at this point to congratulate them for their contributions and impacts on the education sector in Indonesia, in particular in Southeast Asian region. Ladies and gentlemen, in this era of the knowledge-based economy that we are in, as well as during this pandemic, we are currently having the challenge of more innovative and active collaborations and transformative way of managing partnerships among various players in the education sector. We need to develop programs and approaches that could deliver and enhance connectivity among our learners, given the available information and communication technologies. We need to enable our learners to realize their full potentials and to ensure that they acquire high-order thinking and pragmatic skills, even outside the classroom setting. It is in this premise that the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia launched the Merdeka Belajar concept, or literally the independent learning or emancipated learning program. Merdeka Belajar is designed to promote a spirit of mutual cooperation among all education stakeholders towards removing the barriers and providing more creative and innovative learning for students, making them more well-rounded and competitive individuals. It also means that Merdeka Belajar is to facilitate students to actualize their potential, not narrowly shaped by the school curricula. On the school curricula is made to be flexible to facilitate the students to actualize their potential. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me explain to all of you about the why the second day of May. The second day of May is the birth of our first education minister, Ki Hajar Dewantara, and our leader in education that promote educational development in Indonesia. He has very important concept in education that's become the theme of this ministry. Tuturi Handayani, yeah, it's part of the philosophy. That's the theme of our ministry. Completely, it's called Engarso Sung Tulodo. This is in Javanese language because he is Javanese. Ing Matio Mangun Karso Tuturi Handayani. It means that in front, everyone or the leader should become an example for others. In the middle, become a good partner, and in the back, become the mover for others to develop. That's the very well-known philosophy of Ki Hajar Dewantara, the leader of education in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is quite actually very universal with regard to how we develop education, how we facilitate learning to our students. Now we witness the greater challenge for all of us, the industrial revolutions, or completely industrial revolution 4.0, and then pandemic COVID-19. In a sense, or in one perspective, actually, the pandemic COVID-19 become the enforcer to the way we respond, or we react, or we anticipate the change in science and technology that affect our life. The use of technology, the digital technology in many aspects become more important when we face the pandemic of. So again, we expect that the SEAMEO centers will enforce, facilitate, and add the effectiveness of our programs during the pandemic and also post the pandemic COVID. So this is what I can say here. Enjoy the seminar. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, to capture this precious occasion, may we request our guests of honor and all panelists to turn on the camera for group pictures. Mbak Rima.
We are going to divide into two sections. We apologize again for the technical problem. We are going to divide into two sections. Kindly please follow our lead.
Okay, the first section, may we invite all the resource persons, VIPs, and BODs of 7 SEAMEO centers to open the cameras. Other panelists, please kindly wait and close the camera. I'm going to close mine too. Okay, so in the count of 3, so probably the IT person has already taken it. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Okay, now everyone in the panelist room are expected to open the camera. Let me see. We have 2 screens. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. First screen. Then we are going to go to the second screen. Please kindly stop on the chat box because it might cover the face of our panelists. Thank you for your cooperation. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to answer the question coming from the participant. No, it's not going to be on the certificate, so don't you worry. Actually, if your face is not been taken, it's not going to affect your certificate. Thank you very much. Mbak Rima, after you.
Thank you, Mbak Rita. We really apologize for the inconvenience. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to proceed to our next agenda. So, our webinar program will be started by presenting 2 keynote speakers. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology of Indonesia that has presented his keynote speech earlier, and continued by the Director of SEAMEO Secretariat as our keynote speakers.
Before continuing to our second keynote speaker, may I have the honor to introduce our first keynote speaker, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology of Indonesia, Professor Ainun Naim. Professor Ainun Naim obtained his doctoral degree from Temple University, Philadelphia, USA on Business Administration. Professor Naim was designated as the Secretary General of the Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education. Currently, alongside his activity as the Secretary General of the MOE-CRT, he is currently a professor at University of Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta. Mbak Rima.
Okay. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, joining with us, our second speaker is the Director of SEAMEO Secretariat, Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela. Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela is presently the Director of the Southeast Asian Minister of Education Organization Secretariat, the first female director since SEAMEO was organized in 1965. She served as the first female deputy director for program and development of SEAMEO Secretariat from July 2015 to March 2019, and led the Educational Research and Innovation Office of SEAMEO Innotech. From 2006 to June 2015, yes, she led the Educational Research and Innovation of Office of SEAMEO Innotech. Dr. Valenzuela holds Doctor of Education in Educational Management at the La Salle University. With that, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask that you give full attention to Dr. Ethel Agnes Pascua Valenzuela and help me in welcoming her to deliver her keynote speech. Dr. Ethel.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning. Thank you very much, His Excellency Dr. Nadim Anwar Makarim, for a very inspiring opening message, and also to the Honorable Dr. Ainun Naim, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology, and to our 7 centers, the directors of SEAMEO Biodrop, SEAMEO Simulec, SEAMEO RecFon, SEAMEO Centers for Quality Improvement for Teachers and Education Personnel in Math, Science, and Language, and SEAMEO CHECHEP, or the Center for Early Childhood Education and Parenting. Honorable Governing Board members, officials of SEAMEO centers all over Southeast Asia, esteemed participants, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. I'm very happy to join you all because today we are very privileged to listen to the esteemed speakers from our SEAMEO centers in Indonesia. The standout SEAMEO centers leading educational transformation in Indonesia will share their compelling stories and their contributions. Some of them have existed for over 50 years, and the rest, some of them are quite new, almost 10 years or younger. We will listen to the conventional wisdoms from the leaders of SEAMEO centers, governing board members, and others, and well, learn from them on how they have adapted agile values, of course, created a taxonomy of interventions for education, science, and culture, and of course, their journey in transformation during the COVID-19 pandemic. It is a huge job, and I'm very happy that we are having this very first presentation on what are the outstanding contributions of our SEAMEO centers from Indonesia. Let me share my screen. I hope you can see my screen. Yes? Okay, so I would like to start with, of course, a positive note that today we'll discuss about their contributions and impacts. And of course, impact is a big word. It's quite very difficult to measure. However, let us start with the most important thing, that education is the most fundamental way out of poverty. So our thinking is, if I get educated, if I have education, training, I would have the skills to increase my income and to improve my skills and to increase the value of my country as it competes around the world. If I get better education, I will become a better leader. I can be a better innovator. And of course, the higher your income, the higher your educational level and training, because you show all of this when you do your annual reports, right? So the education and human capital development are closely intertwined. So we say human capital, we always say that in ASEAN, our goal is to increase human capital. And we do that by education and training. So when we say human capital, it's the value of all our experiences, all our skills. And this is measured by access to schooling, access to education, and not just access, but it is also measured into quality of learning. So whatever you get from school, it should be of good quality. And whatever you get from SEAMEO centers, it should be of good quality. So the findings reveal that in the current situation of Southeast Asia and the rest of the world, we have increased our access to education over the years because we were very active in education for all in 1990s and 2000. So access to education has increased, but also the quality is also a problem now because they said that not all are actually learning. So within the context of ASEAN goal of human capacity development, this is where the center should really address that we provide not just access, but also quality. So as mentioned by our dear minister today, in the situation of COVID, more than half of the children in low and middle income countries do not learn to read with comprehension. So we have a Center for Early Childhood who can actually contribute to the discussions. And millions of children are now missing education due to the pandemic. They go hungry, they miss their school feeding program, and for the women and girls, they go for early marriage, child labor, and sometimes we cannot escape violence. So at the heart of this COVID-19 pandemic, we experience a lot of challenges. So many of the poorest children from our region do not have access to online training like this one, or mobile learning, or hybrid learning, what the others are using. And it is projected that 370 million children miss out on free and subsidized school meals. So still in our region, many of our countries offer a school feeding program. And so when not in school, they have all of those challenges, such as early pregnancy and the rest. So at least 24 million children now, it already reached a lower level now, but they're projected to still drop out of the school because of the pandemic. And that's a huge number still to address. 24 million children who will not have the chance to improve the human capital of the country and of the region. So we are forced to learn in lockdown, to pursue home-based learning, to use digital technology, and it also affects many who are losing their jobs. There are also many who are losing their jobs. They cannot cope with this, work from home, digitalization. They simply cannot. And a lot of workers are displaced. We're saying that the SEAMEO centers can help because we also promote lifelong learning, right? So we don't want to continue with learning poverty, that kids are school but not learning. We also don't want to see that children will simply finish and will not have jobs, else they don't have the proper education. So this is actually a situation that we are addressing. So instead of thinking about learning loss, learning poverty, we will be asking our centers to contribute to learning realignment, that we need to reach out and get those children and teachers out from this situation. And that is SEAMEO Cares. So the new normal is that since last year, March, I remember I have asked the SEAMEO centers on the webinar. So our first webinar series was actually April. At the same time as we're having our SEAMEO Congress, that was our first webinar. And from that time on, we have already reached over 1 million teachers and learners since the pandemic. So we have asked our centers to go online platforms, no one left behind. So we have online series from education, for culture and science. And we have also asked centers to contribute their learning resources and materials for free. So if you will go to our website at SEAMEO Secretariat, we have even asked our partners to contribute their learning resources for free, and many of them are really of good quality. We have asked our SEAMEO ministers, Council of Ministers, to share the responses, and you can still review them up to now, how each country addressed the challenges brought by the COVID pandemic. So the news is that we were able to transition to the new normal, doing everything, teaching, learning, training online. But nevertheless, some member countries of us, for example, Laos, they use the combination of online plus also using the modules, or Timor-Leste utilize text by sharing all the lessons by text or mobile technology and the rest. So it's actually different strategies for all countries. But the thing is that we were able to move as one in our region. So many of you are curious because the topic is actually impact. We have a roadmap. Since 2015, we already have adopted priority areas. The priority areas of SEAMEO starts from the heart, which is early childhood care and education. We envision that by 2035, all at least 5 years old boy and girls will be having access to kindergarten, at least one. But in our region, some countries have 3 years, preparatory, nursery, and kindergarten. That's fine. But the minimum that we request from Southeast Asian countries is at least kindergarten, which is a policy, a national policy to have everyone, because the foundation years is in early childhood care and education, which is linked to number 2, inclusive education. So centers are also doing a lot of job to address barriers to inclusion. And then because we are in a region where there is a lot of problems on emergencies and cases of, for example, tsunami or storms or volcanic eruption, we also have asked our centers to do training or education for emergencies. At the heart also of our intervention is promoting technical vocational training, because this is important for skills development. And don't forget teachers, they need to be revitalized, they need to be motivated. We need to get good teachers and higher education and adopting 21st century skills. So how are the centers doing their job? So you see in 1 year's time, the centers have 293 activities, whether it is face-to-face or online. And it is a lot of intervention per year. So the pandemic did not stop them from carrying on their job. So as you see, however, many of their activities are on higher education and 21st century skills and teacher education. So those are the 3 areas where most of our centers are working on. And priority areas for inclusive education and early childhood, we need to improve our activities there. So the ministers have moved forward with asking the centers to enhance teacher training, foster learning environment that is free from disruption, and also sustain open educational resources. And the recovery is now what we are currently doing, supporting teachers online, having country guidelines for COVID-19 prevention. We are still in a 2nd or 3rd wave. Recovery from learning gaps that I mentioned, the learning poverty, and support the disadvantaged learners. And we were trying to do our cares for fund for COVID-19. So you will see more and more activities from our centers, because it is now our decade launch of our strategic plan. Science agenda and culture agenda is part of our discussion. And we will continue to work with other international organizations to promote better coordination of educational intervention for human capital development. Let's go to researches. So our centers are into capacity building, into research and partnership. So when it comes to the research of the centers, many of them are carrying out a lot of researches, and their funding comes from their own budget or government funds, international and multilateral organization, and private funding, and our own endowment fund. But the center of their research programs are actually mostly for students and teachers and educators. So we will see that Indonesia has a lot of research program going on, right? Because our Biotrop Center has journal and RecFon also, and the rest. So our Indonesian centers are performing well in the research and development. So this is the grade for impact, okay, 89.47%. Okay, and well, you can see that our centers are very, very active. For example, here I have shown to you how much or where did the centers contributed in terms of the research program. So you see Biotrop has 67 accomplished and 26 ongoing, and the new centers such as KIMKIS and RecFon also, they don't stop. They also contribute to research and development, and also Simulec and our centers of other centers have also contributed. So in education, the ongoing research is like a lot accomplished. In education, 67. In science, more, 105 were accomplished, and many are still ongoing. So this will just tell you that we are not on sleeping mode. And even if it's a pandemic, whether it is capacity building of 293 activities of SEAMEO or research programs, they are performing well. So as you see from the overview of our research, the second domain of the function of the centers accomplished just the last 2 years, 176 total, and ongoing 123 researches. These are scientific researches or educational policy researches and the like. So the centers are in somehow utilizing their budget and the host country's budget, but they are really doing well in terms of their accomplishments for capacity building and their research. And of course, now we are launching that we work together as one. Centers and ministries of education will develop CARES, COVID-19 Accessible and Responsive Educational Support Fund and Program to develop online learning resources and train more teachers even online or through webinars. So this has already been approved by our ministers, and I'm very lucky that most of them were able to say this during the SEAMEO Congress last week. So this is we started with some of the border school. We also have border school project. We went to Thailand and Laos border and helped or assisted those without any learning resources at all to have at least books and all of these online facilities. Of course, we need to do more because now lockdown, we cannot go out of Thailand right now and we cannot do a lot. But way forward is continue this collaboration for educational policy for the region and to think about the center of intervention, which is the learners. We need to retool and have them equipped with 21st century skills like the minister's message that digital gaps should be addressed and we should continue our work. So collaboration is a must. And we are here, we are willing to help, we're willing to facilitate all of these for our member countries. And well, to save the future, we are also asking that we continue to reopen schools and make education more inclusive, do not leave anyone behind, strengthen teachers and the workforce, the school principals, focus on education technology, and have education budget, real education budget, especially in this time of pandemic. Do not cut the education budget and mobilize the international resources for financing education. And let's use our resources better and more effective. So, well, in lifelong learning, we will continue to ask our centers in Indonesia to do more policy advocacy to reach out because education is life, to identify all the areas where you can really intervene and help and offer documentation of this so other countries can also learn. So I think, well, I am very happy to say that I am very, very honored to share with you that our centers in Indonesia are doing great and we will continue to work with them. And if you want to look at all of those reports, just go to the SEAMEO Center website. We have the resources that are for free. You can download and get them. So with this, I would like to really ask you to subscribe our channel and be updated on any happening, any webinar from us and our centers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ethel, for the brief and insightful materials. Ladies and gentlemen, now may we proceed to the panel discussion that will be facilitated by Ms. Marcella Dwinda Dati Hutami from Cooperation and Public Relations Bureau as the moderator.
The director of 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia will present the programs and activities of the respective centers. Therefore, may we invite Ms. Marcella to serve as the moderator for this discussion.
Thank you, Mrs. Rima and Mrs. Rita for the introduction. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and dear participants. Yang terhormat Bapak Ibu semua. I'm Marcella and I will be the moderator for the current session, which is plenary panel discussion featuring the directors of 7 SEAMEO centers in Indonesia on their major contributions to the education sector of Indonesia and also for other Southeast Asian countries. And before we start the session, I will briefly explain about the session rule. There will be 7 presenters from the SEAMEO centers, and the allotted time for each presenter is 10 minutes. And after each presentation, we will show you a video clip of testimonies of selected schools on the impact of programs and activities of the 7 SEAMEO centers to their respective schools. And after that, it will be followed by question and answer sessions. For this Q&A session, all participants will be muted during the session. And if the participants wants to ask question, please write it down on the Q&A box. And please send the question only for 7 panelists. Only for the 7 panelists, representatives from the SEAMEO centers. And please follow the format for asking questions. You can state your name and then your country and then your institution and then your questions. The questions should be brief and clear. And later the committee will collect and choose some interesting questions. So the question and answer session will be about 20 minutes. And later the question will be shared on screen. So on that note, we kindly ask your active participation in this session. Thank you. So without further ado, I would like to start this session by inviting the first presenter, which is Dr. Suhamsyah Imran. Dr. Suhamsyah Imran is currently designated as the Director of SEAMEO Regional Center for Tropical Biology, which is BioTrop. Alongside his activity as the Center Director, he is also active as a lecturer at Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science in IPB University. He also obtained his PhD degree in Biosphere Science from Hiroshima University in Japan. Dr. Suhamsyah is a strong advocate for coastal planning and management and environmental strategic assessment. And among his recent scientific publications were on community knowledge, attitudes, and practices towards environmental conservation, assessing influencing factors in Jorbay, Lombok, and then coastal vulnerability index aftermath tsunami in Palu Bay. He was also recently honored with the Satya Lencana for 20 years of service for his contributions to education in Indonesia, given by the President of the Republic of Indonesia. Without further ado, I would like to kindly invite Dr. Suhamsyah Imran. The floor is yours, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope everybody can hear my voice. Yeah. His Excellency, Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, His Excellency, Secretary General of Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, the participant, moderators, ladies and gentlemen. Let me confirm my presentation with the title SEAMEO Biotrop Contribution and its impacts to education in Indonesia and Southeast Asia and beyond, of course. Yeah, we know that SEAMEO Biotrop is a regional center under the Southeast Asia Ministry of Education organization that we call SEAMEO, hosted by the government of Indonesia under the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education and Culture, Research and Technologies. It was established on 6 February 1968. Yeah, we know that in Indonesia we have 7 SEAMEO center, and one of the center located in the Bogor. Yeah, we know that when we pass to the Puncak, we will find the Tajur is our headquarters. As far as relation with the IPB, may we inform that IPB is our home-based institution. Yeah. Therefore, we use 10 hectare land belong to the IPB University here, but the building and facilities were funded by Minister of Education and Research and Technology and others donor organizations such as USAID, OSED, ITTO, and also ADB and JICA. Yeah, we know that the SEAMEO Biotrop has several program and activities to support and an education in Indonesia and also Southeast Asia, such as Smart Bee programs, fruit garden program, and then school garden, food safety, environment conservation, star village, and entrepreneurship. SEAMEO Biotrop has provided some laboratories such as tissue culture, entomology, phytopathology, aquatic, biotechnology, natural product, GIS and remote sensing, biosystem, herbarium, and environmental laboratory. We also have the one master program that conduct joint partnership between SEAMEO Biotrop and IPB University. We provide also some dormitory as well for the participant who attend our training. Next, please. The most interesting one modality of our center is International Journal of Biotropia with Scopus Indexes and Q3. Yeah, we know that the international journal we need for our publication, not on especially for researcher and lecturers. Yeah, we do hope, you know, with the couple next year, we will provide one journal for the teachers. Yeah, especially for the vocational teachers. Yeah. We can see that this journal we publish regularly twice a year since 1970s. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah. I would like to more elaborate some information what laboratories do for our research in SEAMEO Biotrop. For example, here we can see that biotechnology laboratory has a research concern on genomic application, transcriptomic method for obtaining superior and disease-resistant plants, DNA barcode from various plants, animal, fungi, and bacteria. We can see also another laboratory, such as the aquatic laboratory, has research concern on the cultivation of aquatic fauna, which means fish and lobster here, such as ornamental fish and freshwater fish, such as freshwater crayfish. In Bahasa, we call lobster air tawar. Perhaps in this year, we will cultivate faname as the marine brackish water shrimp fish. Yeah. Another laboratory, what they do every year, as we can see in this slide. Next, please. This slide shows to us that there are fluctuative number of research and institution participation in the period 2015 to 2021. We can see here the highest number of research is around 30 research in 2080, and then the lowest number is in 2020. Yeah, due to our preparation of fund from the national budget land in Indonesia. However, a number of partnerships are increased year to year, come from university, yeah, like is the Gajah Mada University, Diponegoro University, IPB University, and also research institution and vocational high school, including the senior high school that conducted for the school garden activities. Yeah. It can be seen that we changed stems and got diverse product of research, including publication, learning modules and model or prototypes, as we can see in this slide. I cannot read all because takes time. Besides research, Biotrop also conducts the capacity building activities, regular and tailor-made training and learning activities such as regional training, national, in-country, and on request training course based on the previous seminar, some seminar, workshop, symposium, conference, focus group discussion, and meeting as request, and also what the SEAMEO Biotrop need to do to assess to meet with the hot issue. Until now, we have some topic for the training activities, namely school garden, urban farming, aquaculture, identification of mycotoxin, tissue culture, herbarium, invasive species, and so on. Let me convey a little bit Biotrop intensive programs. For years 2016 to 2020, we have 48 students from more than 136 learning institutions to conduct intensive and or on-the-job training. So many students come to the SEAMEO Biotrop and they conduct their intensive. Some continue with their research for the student in university. Area of intensive, we can see here, we propose pest control, hydroponic, natural product, biotechnology, herbarium, waste management, tissue culture, food. Please next please. Next please. Geographic information system, information technology, and office administration. There are some research working relationship. We cover also active 2 diploma student, 104 undergraduate student, and 23 postgraduate student, and 458 students from 85 university and 77 school. Next, please. Since 2019, we collaboration with the PT Kibo and Associate Agriculture Company in Japan. SEAMEO Biotrop launched overseas intensive. These pictures show us some activity conducted by students come from Juanda and Satya Negara Indonesia University in Hokkaido 2019 and 2020. Even we face the pandemic COVID-19. Now we have prepared 22 students from faculties of Fisheries and Marine Science, Pajajaran University, to conduct their intensive on scallop marine culture in Hokkaido, Japan. Next, please. Now we arrive on Smart Bee program as one of our leading programs in SEAMEO Biotrop. We know that Smart Bee program really in line with the President Instruction number 9 2016 on revitalization of vocational school to increase competitiveness of vocational school alumni. Smart Bee program cover 36 vocational high school distributed in 19 provinces, participated by 300 teachers and 7,000 students. Smart Bee program was extended to 32 high school that include senior high school, vocational high school, Islamic boarding school, and Islamic senior high school from Bogor district participated by 96 teachers. So this year we will expand this program to this Southeast Asia, and also we will invite some vocational for some potential vocational school to engage this Smart Bee program. Next, please. We can see in this slide, so as training for training was conducted, a training program participated by 266 vocational high school, Islamic boarding school, and Islamic senior high school. And then 1,861 teachers. Yeah. The eighth topic of training with Smart B can be seen in this table. Smart B program has established 36 hectare fruit garden within 66 schools. I would like to figure out that at least Beatrop had already planted with 19,000 round trees, and then 78% survival rates, and 46 varieties, and 99 fruit-based product, food break product. This program also produced 51 standard operational procedure, and it will be published by Beatrop. Next, please.
I'm sorry. Please
Yep.
try to speed up because the time is already up. Thank you.
Yeah, we know that we try to promote several programs like Bioma, BLF, BTS, Biochar, Biomines, Biomob, Biota, and Biosobat. That's all my presentation. Thank you.
You are still unmuted, Miss Marcella, sorry.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sulhan Shah Imran, for the very interesting presentation. I'm so sorry, I need to cut the presentation because the time is up. But later, we can follow it up more in the question and answer session. And after this, we will show you the video clip from SMK Pertanian Pembangunan Negeri Mataram. They will be presenting testimony on the impact of program and activities of Beatrop for their school. Please.
Kami dari perwakilan SMKPP Negeri Mataram berterima kasih kepada SEAMEO Beatrop telah berpartisipasi dan membagikan ilmu mengenai program Smart B. Setelah adanya program Smart B, pertama sekolah kami menjadi lebih indah dan kami selaku siswa dapat mengetahui ilmu lebih jauh lagi masalah pengembangbiakan tanaman dan perawatannya di pot.
Program Smart B dari Beatrop ini sangat membantu kami SMKPP Negeri Mataram. Kami masukkan dalam bagian dari kurikulum yang terintegrasi sehingga program ini memberikan dampak yang bagus untuk menumbuhkan di samping kompetensi anak-anak juga menumbuhkan jiwa wirausaha.
Kami SMK Negeri 1 Petang ikut program Smart B sudah dari tahun 2018. Kegiatan kami di SMK Negeri 1 Petang dalam kegiatan Smart B adalah penanaman lemon California. Kami di SMK Negeri 1 Petang menanam 50 hara, tanamannya sebanyak 200 tanaman. Sekarang tanaman lemon California ini sudah mulai berbuah. Jadi dari awal, dari perencanaan sampai dengan sekarang kami selalu dibimbing dan diarahkan dari atau pembimbing-pembimbing dari SEAMEO Beatrop. Buah jeruknya sudah panen Pak dari tahun 2019 akhir, jadi kami sudah melakukan pemanenan beberapa kali, jadi sampai saat ini sudah menghasilkan atau satu kali musim panen itu bisa sampai 350 kg.
Saya terpilih menjadi salah satu guru yang mengikuti magang industri di SEAMEO Beatrop. Nah, untuk prakteknya di situ saya mengambil tentang hidroponik. Hidroponik yang saya dapat di sini itu pun membuka mata saya bahwa ternyata budidaya secara hidroponik itu ya adalah sebuah cara pertanian modern yang saya pikir selama ini sangat susah, ternyata tidak susah gitu. Asal ada aja kemauan. Pertanian kita itu tidak hanya sekedar mencangkul loh, kita bisa juga bertani secara elit istilahnya gitu. Kita bisa bertani secara bersih dengan pakaian yang juga bersih. Kemudian dengan adanya hidroponik ini masyarakat itu udah semakin tinggi minatnya untuk mengkonsumsi sayuran-sayuran hidroponik.
Okay, thank you, Baitrop, and for the SMK Pertanian Pembangunan Negeri Mataram for the video. And now we will move on to the second presenter, which is from Simolek, Dr. Alpha, the Center Director of SEAMEO Simolek. As a PhD graduate in social sciences from the Amsterdam Institute for the Social Science Research, Universiteit van Amsterdam, the Netherlands, along with his diverse experiences in academic, media, and community engagement, Dr. Alpha has gained an impressive network throughout Indonesia, extended to Southeast Asia and beyond as well. Without further ado, I would like to kindly invite Dr. Alpha. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, moderator. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to share my presentation on my own. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to elaborate our work, our effort in the development of distance learning in higher education. Distance learning, actually, there is no difference in principle between open and distance learning and face-to-face learning, because all of these methods, they involve lecturers, they also involve students, they also involve learning materials, and also involving learning interactives. And distance and learning concept, yeah, we have provider, higher education institutions. This higher education institution should act as providers, and then there should also a platform which is in the form of learning materials, and then the service that we are giving is the learning activities, and then the users, student lecturers, and then administrators. This is the distance learning concept. And for the instructional designer, yeah, we need people or human resource development to conduct this open and distance learning. And who are they? They are instructional designer, they are subject matter experts, they are web and media developer, and they are administrator and also IT technician. And the instructional designers, they determine the skills and knowledge that need to be covered. And they select the appropriate learning strategy. They also determine learning delivery and learning assessment strategy. So this is the job of the instructional designer, who is this person would play a very important role in ensuring that the distance learning conducts accordingly. And the subject matter experts, yeah, along with the instructional designer, we need subject matter experts who has an expertise in the content. They contribute relevant knowledge and information. They design the lesson plan. They also design the assessment strategy. They develop learning materials. And the main lecturer in the online learning. They provide also learning materials, problems. Along with the instructional designer and subject matter experts, we also need web and media developer who will assemble learning elements, who will also develop interactive learning media and components. And the next one that we need is administrator, course admin, online facilitators, and tutors, who will manage users of LMS, yeah, who will provide solution for application admin and administration related problems. And they will also provide services related to students' active participation, and they ensure information flow related to learning process. And the last person that we need in making sure that distance learning is conducted accordingly is IT technician, who will develop LMS platform, who will adjust platform interface, who will install learning platform application into web server and install and configuring database. And these are the stages of distance learning development that we currently also applying in higher education. First is planning. We need needs identification. Yeah. And then the development, the instructional design that I just mentioned or elaborated before. And then the implementation, the learning implementation, and then the evaluation, measuring learning achievement. So these are the stages, the phases of distance learning development, from planning, development, implementation, and evaluation, that we have been conducting this to our partners of higher education institution across Indonesia and beyond. The planning, for example, the stages descriptions is planning for development program and activities, identifying the needs of program development, provision of competence needs, infrastructure, and other relevant needs. These are the stages descriptions, and then the outputs is activity plan for program development. The target, institution leader, the educators, and administrators. And then these are the development. The stages description, first is development of lesson plan. The outputs, of course, is the lesson plan, and the target is lecturers. The activities is in the form of training and workshop. And then the next is training for digital learning content development. The output that we expect is digital learning content development competence. And the targets are lecturers, multimedia team, and the activities, it can be in the form of training, self-learning and online assisting workshops, self-learning and online assisting as well. And we also have digital learning content development. Outputs is digital instructional materials. The target is lecturers, multimedia team, yeah. And we also have digital learning content review. And the expected output is the improvement of digital instructional materials. So we cannot just do the digital materials at once. Yeah, we have to go through stages. One of them is the reviewing to make sure that it is done accordingly and it is suitable for the need. And then digital learning content finalization, the expected output is instructional materials to be ready to be integrated into LMS. And digital learning content finalization, of course, I did mention already. And the last one is the integration digital learning content into LMS. The outputs that we expect is instructional materials, which is ready to be accessed by students. And the targets are lecturers and IT technicians. Activities are in the form of training usually. And this is the implementation, the stages description. The indicators of learning implementations are first, management of learning implementation, communication process, learners' response, learning activities, and learning results. These are the outputs that we expect. We expect to have a report of learning implementation result. And the targets is lecturers, students, administrators, and IT technicians. Activities are usually in the form of lecturing activities. And then the evaluation, these are the stages description. First, analysis of learning implementation result. The output that we expect is learning implementation result report. The target is the institution itself. In this case, is the university or higher education institution. And the activities is self-learning. And we also have dissemination. The output we expect is the publication. The target is the institution itself. And the research, the expected output is the journal, and the target is the lecturer, and the activities are workshop and classroom action research. And the report preparation, we expect to have recommendations. The target is our institution, SEAMEO, because we need recommendations from our partners. In this case, is higher education institutions or universities. And the activities is usually in the form of evaluation of program interpretation. And after that, we need to have a follow-up plan. And the target is, of course, our own partner. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I would like to end my presentation. Very simple, but we have already done this extensively and intensively with our partners particularly by higher education institutions, universities across Indonesia and beyond. Thank you very much, moderator. I would like to end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alpha, for the very concise presentation on development of distance learning in higher education. Apparently, you still have like 5 minutes more. Do you want to add something maybe, or maybe later on the question and answer session?
We can just go to the testimony of our partner. Thank you.
Sure. And now the video clip testimony from Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University, or Untirta. They will tell the impact of programs and activities of SEAMEO to the university. Please.
Secara legal kita menyiapkan mulai di Desember 2019 dalam rangka penyiapan untuk pembelajaran berbasis blended learning, dan kami langsung mendapatkan support dan bantuan dari tim teknis SEAMEO yang memberikan informasi perkembangan sistem IT, penyiapan modul pembelajaran, dan sekaligus juga memberikan masukan dan arahan kepada para dosen dalam rangka penyiapan pembelajaran berbasis IT. Sistem pembelajaran dari Untirta ini mendapatkan penguatan konten, termasuk juga desain-desain model pembelajaran dari tim SEAMEO kepada dosen-dosen yang ada di Untirta. Dan alhamdulillah pada Untirta termasuk yang rate pengunjungnya termasuk tinggi secara nasional. Ini juga saya kira berkat support yang intensif dari tim SEAMEO. Ke depan saya kira partnership antara SEAMEO dengan Untirta dan mungkin dengan perguruan tinggi lain harus terus ditingkatkan. Khusus di Untirta, tentu kita akan mendapatkan juga dukungan sepenuhnya dari tim SEAMEO untuk implementasi kampus merdeka. Itulah harapan kami dengan terus memperkuat kerjasama yang baik dengan SEAMEO.
Thank you so much, SEAMEO and Untirta, for the very interesting video clip of testimony. And now for the third panelist, we will have from RECFON, Professor Dr. Muhtaruddin Mansur is the director of SEAMEO Regional Center for Food and Nutrition, or RECFON. He is a medical doctor by training with specialty in occupational medicine. He also serves as a lecturer at the Faculty of Medicine of Universitas Indonesia. His past positions include being the director of the Health and Sports Medicine of the Director General for Community Health of the Ministry of Health of Indonesia from 2014 to 2016. Professor Dr. Muhtaruddin obtained his PhD in Health and Community Care from the Leeds University. Now, please, Professor Dr. Muhtaruddin, the time is yours.
Thank you, Marcella.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, may I start to share the screen, please? Yeah. Well, the Honorable Secretary General, Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, SEAMEO Secretary Director, the Head of Bureau of Cooperation and Public Relations, Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, Director of Research and Community Services, Universitas Indonesia, SEAMEO GB members, all MCs, moderators, speakers, and panelists, distinguished all participants. Very good morning. Selamat pagi, sawadika, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's an honor for me on behalf of SEAMEO RECFON to share the presentation of what SEAMEO RECFON have been doing on building healthy human capitals through freedom learning. Sorry, I can move my slide. Well, can you see my slide, please?
Dr. Mukhtar?
Yeah.
You are sharing your slide from your side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you not put it in a slide mode now?
Okay, please. If you can see.
Okay. If it is, let's see if Simulec, our IT team, would be sharing your file. If you will stop sharing, and then they will share the file, and you will just be requesting them to move on per slide. If
Sure. Yeah. Is it from my side still? Okay. Well, at glance, second slide, please. At glance, RECFON has a vision and mission as stated. And since 1993, the center has also been hosted by the Universitas Indonesia as a regional nutrition study center. Next, please. In fulfilling its mandate to address nutrition and food problems in Southeast Asia region, RECFON has a prevention and mitigation approach. In mitigation effort, the target is early childhood, while prevention effort focus on school-age children and adolescents. Both of these approaches aim at preventing the long-term effect of malnutrition and also protecting future generation from nutritional problems. In this approach, RECFON meet two flagship program, namely Anakku Sehat dan Cerdas, or in SEAMEO country member, we introduce as early childhood care, nutrition and education, and Gizi untuk Prestasi, as also known as Nutrition Goes to School, or NGTS. Next. These two priority programs are in line with the idea of Merdeka Belajar, or independent learning, and Campus Merdeka as independent campus. In the ACCNE and GTS programs, teachers are trained and receive technical assistance so that they can independently teach science related to food and nutrition in schools. In addition, these two programs require collaboration with higher education institutions, where higher education institutions can take advantage of these two programs as part of the embodiment of the independent campus program. This entire program is certainly a place to develop multidimensional competencies for teacher, academics, and also student. Next, please. In terms of the capacity building for school teachers, we carry out various kinds of training, both face-to-face, online, or in the blended learning system. In addition, We organize a series of webinars with the aim of facilitating sharing of good practice between teachers. Next, please. In the webinar entitled NGTS Solution, teachers who have joined the Nutrition for Achievement program and have implemented a nutrition promotion program in their schools are given the opportunity to share good practices and their respective school. This forum also involves local education offices and health and nutrition professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, next slide, please. In addition, academics and students have educational programs such as postgraduate training, fellowship, as well as webinars and training. Next. In addition, these programs are strengthened by internship opportunities for students at SEAMEO, as well as volunteer program for new graduates and young professionals. Next, please. The implementation of the NGTS. Yeah. The implementation of NGTS and HCN program currently covers several regions in Indonesia. The important thing is to underline that in implementing this program, we always involve local academic partners and also related local governments. The involvement of these partners is expected to ensure the sustainability of the HCCNE and NGTS program. Next, please. Since being launched in 2016 and 2018, the HCCNE, the NGTS and HCCNE program have included more than 2,600 educational institutions throughout Indonesia. They are involved in face-to-face online training program as well as classroom action research activities. In addition, 13 schools and universities have also taken advantage of internship opportunities. We have also collaborated with 16 higher education institutions in coaching schools as part of their community development program. Next, please. Thus, it can be conducted that in order to ensure the creation of a healthy nutrition problem-free generation, nutrition and food education is needed in schools. Until now, these activities have become part of extracurricular activities. With the presence of an independent learning program and independent campus, all programs can be symbiotic and support one another. Please, next slide. I and all RECFON staff welcome you all teachers to join our activities. Visit our available link of social media. Well, thank you for your attention. Back to you, Marcella. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Mutaharudin Mansur, for the very interesting presentation on building healthy human capitals through freedom learning. And dear participants, a kindly reminder to please drop your question on the Q&A box. Thank you so much. We will answer the question later after all the presenters finish the presentations. And now we will show you the video clip testimony from SMA N2 Sambas, Kalimantan Barat, on the impact of programs and activities of RECFON to the school. Please, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, kami dari SMA Negeri 2 Sambas, Kabupaten Sambas, Kalimantan Barat. Kami mengenal NGTS melalui pelatihan penguatan UKS dan NGTS untuk SD, SMP, SMA di Kabupaten Sambas yang dilaksanakan atas kerjasama Pemda Kabupaten Sambas, Poltekkes Pontianak, dan SEAMEO Rekfon di tahun 2018. Dan kami mendapatkan materi terkait gizi, keamanan pangan, dan kebun sekolah. Setelah pelatihan tersebut, kami mulai melakukan kegiatan. Di antaranya, yang pertama senam pagi bersama seluruh warga SMA Negeri 2 Sambas. Selanjutnya kami juga melaksanakan sarapan sehat bersama setelah senam, di mana siswa membawa sarapan pagi dari rumah. Dan setiap sebulan sekali sekolah menyiapkan sarapan tersebut. Kami juga melaksanakan literasi gizi dan kesehatan setiap hari Kamis yang disampaikan nanti oleh para siswa didampingi oleh guru yang mengajar di jam pertama. Sekolah kami juga mendapatkan pendampingan dari SEAMEO Rekfon dan Poltekkes Pontianak yang didukung Dinas Pendidikan Kabupaten Sambas hingga saat ini. Selain pendampingan dalam pelaksanaan GTS, kami juga mendapatkan pendampingan pembuatan rencana tindak lanjut yang kami rasakan sangat penting dan membantu agar pelaksanaan GTS dapat terencana dan termonitor dengan baik. Selama masa pandemi, pendampingan reguler dilakukan secara daring melalui diskusi grup WhatsApp dan Zoom. Saat pandemi, kegiatan aktif UKS di sekolah kami vakum. Di awal tahun 2021, saat sekolah sudah kembali dilakukan secara tatap muka, kami melakukan sosialisasi mengenai program NGTS kepada orang tua siswa. Banyak manfaat yang kami peroleh setelah mengikuti program NGTS. Di antaranya, kami mendapatkan pengetahuan baru di bidang gizi dan kesehatan remaja, termasuk tentang kantin sehat dan jajanan sehat. Kami juga mendapatkan banyak masukan dalam penguatan UKS, karena program NGTS memang bertujuan untuk memperkuat UKS. Demikian yang dapat kami sampaikan. Saya akhiri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much for Rekfon and SMAN 2 Sambas Kalimantan Barat for the video clip of testimony. And now I would like to invite the fourth presenter, which is from SEAMEO Kitab in Science, Dr. Indrawati, which is the director of SEAMEO Kitab in Science. She earned her doctoral degree from the Indonesia University of Education in Management of Education in 2013. And at the national level, she served as a member of consultant team in the development of vocational high school module in analytical chemistry and industrial chemistry, and the developer team of Science Technology Society, which is a collaborative program with British Petroleum, British Council, and SEAMEO Rexam in science across Asia Pacific and science across the world program. She was also a national core team coordinator of continuous professional development program for national science teachers. Her research area focuses on science in elementary school, STEM learning, managerial skills for the school principal and superintendent, and thematic learning implementation in elementary school. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Indrawati. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Marcella. The Honorable Secretary General of Ministry of Education, Research and Technology, Director of SEAMEO Secretariat, the Honorable Panelists, Board of Directors, and all participants of the webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Thank you for joining this webinar. In my presentation today, I would like to inform our program in developing science teachers' competency and improving science teaching learning as demanded by 21st century curriculum. Allow me to share my presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, SEAMEO Center for Kitab in Science, or SIKIS, is one of the centers in Indonesia and also one of the kitabs in Indonesia that was established on 2009, located in Bandung, West Java. And the main purpose of establishing Kitab in Science among others, is to improve the competency of science teachers and educational personnel in the field of science in the Southeast Asia region. And SEAKIS provide a relevant and quality program in professional excellence for science teachers and education personnel through capacity building activities, resource sharing, research and development, and networking. And next, to achieve the SEAKIS main goals, our vision is to be a center of professional excellence in the area of science teaching for teachers and educational personnel within the framework of sustainable development. And to achieve the vision, we conduct following activities as our mission. The first, develop and implement relevant and quality program to improve the professionalism of teachers and education personnel in the field of science education in Southeast Asia, and carry out research and development in the field of science education in the field of school management, public policy, and other field in accordance with the duties of function of KITAB and science, and so on. Here you can read our goal of KITAB in science. Next. And from our vision mission, we have that the existence of KITAB in science can contribute to improve our of-science teaching learning quality toward better of life to the study of science. Ladies and gentlemen, in carry out the mandate, SEAKIS refers to the policy direction of 2020 to 22-25 national education development, especially in the improvement of the quality of teaching and learning and the professionalism of teachers and education personnel. And to improve the learning and teaching quality, SEAKIS also adopting the strategic plan of SEAMEO 7 priority areas for education, science and culture 2021 to 2030 as policies guidance to direct the center in achieving future goals. And here you can see that the SEAMEO 7 priority area are the first one, achieving universal early childhood care and education, and the second, addressing barrier to inclusion, the third, resiliency in the face of emergency, the fourth, promoting technical and vocational education and training, the fifth, the revitalizing teachers' education, sixth, harmonizing higher education and research, and adopting 21st century curriculum. In point 7, in adopting 21st century curriculum, there are an indicator that by 2030, all member countries should have integrated the 5 Cs, PSD and BCED, into their national curriculum. As we have known that in the 21st century, students are required to have a number of skills, including those who are familiar with the abbreviation 4 Cs, critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, and communication. And in indicator 7.3, in this, the target of the 21st century, 5 Cs are stated. So we identified the 5th C with the computational thinking. And to support the achievement of this indicator, SEAKIS determined its flagship program with include STEM, computational thinking, and climate change education program. With the primary program of STEM, CT, and CSET, we hope to contribute in improving the quality of science learning in Indonesia, especially to achieve the creation of Pelajar Pancasila or student of Pancasila who possess critical thinking, creative, independent, faithful to God, healthy, and have a noble character, mutual cooperation, and global diversity as well. And ladies and gentlemen, as I have mentioned earlier, SEAKIS activity focus on SEAMEO number 5 and 7 priority, and activities related to number 5, including revitalizing teachers' education through the capacity building of teachers to improve their competency. Capacity building activities that we hold are training, seminar, workshop, and another our main activity, also conduct research and development and give award to science teachers who have been dedicating their time, energy, and mind in improving the quality of science learning through the Ki Hajar Dewantara Award. And SEAMEO also provide research grant to science teachers who research proposal approved in the SEAMEO research grant program. And here our training program are categorized as regular, non-regular, and customized training. Regular training is conducted for 10 days and 5 days for non-regular training, while the period for customized training is based on request. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, here is some picture of our activities. This is the International Conference and Webinar Series. Next. And here the winners of the Ki Hajar Dewantara Award. And next. And here the program of SEAMEO Research Grant. Yes, please. Next. Here is the testimonial from the teachers who have the SEAMEO Research Grant program. Ibu Imalia Din, and so on. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to explain the SEAMEO Hacker program. This year, in addition to conducting regular and non-regular training with participants from the Southeast Asia, we also conduct school assistance program for STEM. And okay, next. Here the timeline including STEM. STEM development has been conducted since 2015, which began with consolidation with various national and international institutions. And the initiation of the IBSE STEM in 2015 with Policy Forum in cooperation with ISTIC UNESCO Malaysia and was held on 23-24 February 2015 and so on. And in Indonesia, especially in 2018 until now, we focus on implementing STEM in school in Indonesia. STEM promotion strategy is carried out through integrating STEM approach. I think next slide.
Bu, excuse me, kindly reminder you have like 2 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. The promotion strategy is carried out through 4-way integration into national curricula, teacher professional development, collaboration, and publication. And here our some activities of the training in STEM learning. Okay, next. And another our program is computational thinking. This is the example of teachers unit book in using in the training computational thinking integrating in science learning. And next, our partner school mentoring program. Okay, next. Yes, I think it is allow me to 1 second. In implementing STEM as a flagship program, SEAMEO is collaborating with several schools to gain deeper information about STEM implementation and impact on students. For partner school in implementing STEM, we use the STEM immersion guide reference developed by the Arizona STEM Network with the Maricopa County Education Service Agency as a framework. And we introduced 3 of 4 STEM implementation model for learning in school. In each of this model, there are 6 main categories, namely leading, teaching, learning, evaluating, budgeting, and sustaining that must be considered by the school. And next, in addition, we also consider the success factors that must be considered in STEM implementation, namely support, teaching, efficacy, and developing material. And we hope through this partnership program can have a positive impact of all parties involved in this program, especially for teachers, students, school principal, and others. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the activities that I have mentioned previously, SEAC is also developing teaching material in learning media such as book, video, and magazine. You can see this material at www.kitefinsign.id. I think this is our outstanding alumni, Mr. Not Helmi from Malaysia, Mr. Herwin Hamid, and Ms. Vera Maulidia and Ms. Dini Siti Anggreni. They are our alumni. I think enough from me. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Indrawati, for the very interesting presentation on SEAC's contributions on improving science learning quality in Indonesia and also in Southeast Asia. And now for the video clip testimony is from SDIT Cendekia. Please.
Sekolah kami berlokasi di Jalan Veteran nomor 100B Purwakarta, Jawa Barat. Kami berada di bawah naungan Yayasan Yasri di bawah bimbingan dan arahan Bapak Dr. Haji Agus Muharram MPD. Dalam rangka meningkatkan profesionalisme guru dan pengembangan kurikulum, yayasan kami, Yayasan Yasri, bekerja sama dengan SEAC sejak tahun 2020.
Kerjasama kami saya rasakan sangat besar manfaatnya. Guru lebih berinovasi, kreatif di dalam memberikan pembelajaran kepada anak.
Saya menjadi lebih mampu untuk menyusun pembelajaran yang menarik, yang kreatif dan inovatif sehingga bisa menarik peserta didik untuk lebih menyukai pembelajaran saya, khususnya pembelajaran IPA.
Bermitra dengan SEAC membuka wawasan saya betapa besar tantangan zaman yang dihadapi pada abad ke-21. SEAC bergerak masif memperkenalkan inovasi pembelajaran baru berupa pendekatan STEM untuk menjawab tantangan tersebut.
Manfaat untuk siswa dan siswi sangat kami rasakan, di mana siswa dan siswi kami dapat berpikir kritis, berpikir aktif, berpikir kreatif, berpikir inovatif, dan masih banyak lagi. Tentunya hal tersebut dapat membantu kami dan juga dapat meningkatkan prestasi kami.
Harapan kami ke depan, kerjasama yang sudah terjalin antara Yayasan Yasri yang di dalamnya ada SDIT Cendekia Purwakarta bersama SEAC ini terus berkelanjutan karena yang sudah dilakukan pihak sekolah dengan SEAC ini sangat bermanfaat bagi peningkatan profesionalisme guru di SDIT Cendekia Purwakarta.
Thank you, SEAC and SDIT Cendekia for the video clip testimony. And now we will move on to the fifth presenter for today's session, which is from Kitab in Mathematics. The presenter is Dr. Sumardiono, currently serves as the director of SEAMEO Kitab in Mathematics. Previously, he was a Widya Iswara at P4TK Mathematics, and he already obtained his doctoral degree in mathematical analysis from Universitas Gadjah Mada and master's degree in mathematics education from UNS Indonesia. Without further ado, I would like to kindly invite Dr. Sumardiono, please.
Thank you very much, moderator. Let me show my presentation first. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this session, I will present my presentation about the SEAC's contribution and impact on education in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. SEAMEO is dedicated to developing and empowering teachers from across Southeast Asia through mathematics education. SEAMEO is one of 3 sisters in Kitab in Indonesia that established since 2009. This is our vision and mission. I think our vision and mission is the same as our sister Kitab in science, but especially in mathematics educators. Our goals to provide high quality education relevant to 21st century skills, but also we need to establish extensive network and also to conduct research and development, as we mentioned later, and also to provide intellectual forums on mathematics education innovation. And we hope we can provide the policy maker with update data and information about mathematics education also. This is our flagship program. There are 5 main. One is a course. There are reliable course, inquiry course, and customized course. And also we conduct workshops, seminar, and symposium. The third, we have research and development. The fourth is academic publication, and also we conduct the program to community service program to village and also schools. As one of the SEAMEO center in Southeast Asia, among the 26 SEAMEO centers, we have the same program with our previous established SEAMEO exam. So we mandated by the government board meeting. We have 8 themes. There are teacher mathematics teaching, joyful learning. This is our minds program in the course, and also differentiate instruction in mathematics education, integrating ICT in mathematics education that we have conduct in this pandemic era, clinical supervision, lesson study, and also realistic mathematics education, and of course STEM education that we have mandated in this area since 2020. SEAMEO has goals to conduct a program for mathematics teachers in Southeast Asia. But for the regular course, we have to conduct just 5 courses per year. So we initiate the in-country course that we collaborate with district and other partners, and also customized course that we have initiate from the others, and we provide the structured program and facilitators. From 2020, we conduct our regular course during the pandemic. We run from the face-to-face mode to full online mode. So this is our experience in conduct the regular course. So there are some transformation about the digital platform, also how we manage the course in the online modes during the pandemic. The regular course actually runs for 100 hours. So this is participated by mathematics teachers from SEAMEO countries by invite through the Minister of Education. And for mathematics teacher in Indonesia, we open for the registration. And for improve our participants in mathematics to conduct the mathematics teacher on learning in the joyful and also meaningful. So in this regular course, we also include the peer teaching and real teaching to their students. As I said before about in-country course for complementary of our regular course. Next, for the workshops, we have conducted the online and offline mode workshop also. This is one of our remarkable workshop on during the pandemic. We invite from the outside from Finlandia to conduct the STEM activity in workshops. This is our themes in workshops that have been conducted in SEAMEO, including GeoGebra, and also there are any themes that related for with 21st century skills. Next, our symposium and seminar. We also have conducted the seminar, international seminar, also national seminar and symposium. That we have collaborated with others partners from Europe and also United States of America, including NCTM. And this year, we will also conduct the Sambrating Awards. This is for appreciation for the best practices from mathematics teachers in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. And also, we will conduct the International Symposium on Special Needs Education. This is some of our activity in symposium and seminars. Till now, SEAMEO has complement in training more than 3,000 Asia teachers participated. And we have conducted 54 regular courses and others, including 6,500 mathematics teachers and collaboration with others with 44 MOU. For research and development, currently we conduct the research on STEM and CT or computational thinking, and also we initiate in this year also to conduct the research in collaboration with CRISIT from University of Tsukuba to have the learning media adapted from Japanese textbooks. And the current research, we also initiate the research in this year and also next year for the digital or dynamic technology for mathematics teaching in collaboration with UCL from United Kingdom and also from our partners from Indonesia, Universitas 11 Maret. And also, we have a flagship program in this area in research and development that we have MARWA or Mathematics Regional-Wide Assessment. This is a diagnostic test, and for the in the pandemic era, we cannot provide this assessment face to face. So we conduct the online MARWA assessment for students. For students in primary school, junior high school, and also high school. This is about our MARWA and over years from 2010 to 2021. As we see that we have developed also in research MARWA 4.0 in online mode, and this is ongoing research that we have conducted. And also, we have for the last main program in community involvement, we have what we call that STEM village. Is for give the knowledge and also experience to apply the STEM knowledge for the parents and also for the kids in the village. And this is some example from our activity. Yes. And also we have SEAMEO piloting schools. The activity is including research, capacity building, also learning community.
Excuse me, please. Could you speed up a little bit because we already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much. This is our international recognition. Yeah. Some of our partners. This is also for institution Vibra. We have collaboration intensively with them, and this is our initiative with our alumni also. And SEAMEO also provide internship program for Merdeka Belajar or Campus Merdeka. Yeah, provide some activity for the student of college, and yes. This is some contributed our involvement for our alumni also. Thank you very much. Back to moderator. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sumardiono, for the presentation. And now we have a video clip testimony from SDN Suko Pos 1 Surabaya on the impact of program activities of SEAMEO to the school. Please, the video.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Rizky. I'm an elementary school teacher. I am teaching in SDN Suto Pos 1 Surabaya. I've known SEAMEO since 2011. At that time, I'm honored as one of participants of Mathematics Teaching and Learning Methods 2017 that held by SEAMEO in Mathematics. At that time, I was very surprised how SEAMEO treated me. They are very focused on the core of the lesson plans, not only of the surface, like the form of the lesson plan, or like the sequences of the lesson plan itself, and so on. And it's very, very surprised me. They introduced me to teaching mathematics in different ways, not only about matters, but how mathematics skill can implement by the students in daily life. Since then, I'm very curious to join another event of SEAMEO in mathematics. At the same year, I am joined a course of Southeast Asia Realistic Mathematics Education for primary teacher in SEAMEO in mathematics. On that course, SEAMEO in mathematics taught me that mathematics is not only calculating, but also applicating in daily life. Since that, I applied that term to my students, and you can guess my students very enjoy my learning methods, and they grow to be a critical student and also to be more cheerful student and very enjoying mathematics learning. And besides that, I also spread the knowledge that I got in SEAMEO into teacher in Surabaya. And I was facilitated by the Education Office of Surabaya to hold a course or workshop in joyful and realistic mathematics learning in Surabaya. And at the end, I also want to say thank you for the opportunity that has been given to me for joining as a member of SEAMEO in mathematics family. And I want to always engage in shaking event in furthermore. And for the last, you have to join all the shaking event and you will not regret it. Thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you so much SEAMEO and SDN Suko Pos 1 Surabaya for the video clip testimony. And now we will move on to the sixth presenter, which is from Kitabin Language. Dr. Luh Anik Mayani is the director of SEAMEO. She is responsible in developing, managing, and sustaining programs and operation of SEAMEO towards improving the quality of language teachers and education personnel in Southeast Asia. During her 3-year term as director, Dr. Anik targets to develop teaching methodology for strategic foreign languages such as Japanese, Arabic, German, Chinese, Mandarin language, and promoting Indonesian language through Indonesian as a foreign language program. Please, Dr. Anik, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Marcella, for a kind introduction. First of all, please let me share my screen. Okay. Honorable Secretary General of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Ethel Pascua Valenzuela, the Director of SEAMEO Secretariat, Board of Directors of SEAMEO Centers Indonesia, distinguished invited guests and participants. A very good morning to you all. Thank you very much for attending this webinar and for the time given to SEAMEO in language to present our contributions and impact, especially on language learning in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, SEAMEO Kirabin language was established in 2009 based on the resolution of the 44th SEAMEO Council Conference in Thailand. So our focus are Indonesian as foreign language, and then we also have Arabic, German, Mandarin, Japanese, and mother tongue. Other than those languages, we also focus our programs on English and French. The fields of our services include learning resource development, research and development, capacity building, and networking. So our program, based on the SEAMEO 7 priority areas, especially the priority number 5, revitalizing teacher education, and priority number 7, adopting a 21st century curriculum. And we also based our program on the vision of Indonesian education. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the contribution of SEAMEO Kirabin language in 2020. So along 2020, we have served 2,340 language teachers participated in our capacity building programs. We have developed 22 learning videos in the form of podcast video as well as animated learning videos. In addition to that, we have developed 2 modules in 21st century skills as well as on classroom action research. Other than 2 modules, we also publish 7 other products and publications. And for research, we have granted 25 research grant to 25 teachers in Southeast Asia countries. And one of our international symposium is ISOFOL, which was participated by more than 170 participants. In addition to those programs, we also awarded scholarship for 600 language teachers in 7 countries to elevate their competencies in English, French, or German. And for our webinar series, it had attracted almost 2,800 participants. Ladies and gentlemen, now let us map the impact of our program. The first one is from the learning resource development. 2 examples given here are our modules and also our learning videos. Those products impact not only language teachers, but also students. From language teachers' point of view, these learning modules could improve teachers' pedagogical competencies, to be specific in teaching methodology, because they can sharpen students' higher order thinking skills. Why? Because our modules could guide teachers to direct students to achieve 21st century skills, and it also guide teachers to direct students to be independent learners. And from students' point of view, these modules could improve their 4C skills, as well as it can prepare students to be independent learners. So from our capacity building programs, the programs initiated by SEAMEO Kirabin language can improve teachers' professional competency, for example, elevating teachers' foreign language competency levels. And our training programs, it can improve either pedagogical competency as well as professional competency, in this case, of learning material. And other program, training on language teaching research methodology, it can improve both professional competency as well as pedagogical competency. And from our research and development program, as this program, the outputs are either proceeding or book on good practices, so this program can improve the pedagogical as well as professional competencies of our language teachers. And from the cultural program, our program, Storytelling Competition Listening to Asia, it can help students to improve their awareness on the world diversity as a character building program. And in terms of language, it can improve students' speaking competency in 6 language choices. And our newly launched program in February 2021 to support Campus Merdeka is a School Literacy Club. This club is aimed to enhance life skills through literacy and also to improve foreign language skills or competency. And this club has built a literacy community which consists of almost 2,000 students, involve almost 300 interns and more than 200 teachers as supervisors. And it is involving 69 schools in 12 provinces in Indonesia. The activities, among others, book discussion, creative writing, poster presentation, and art performance. Ladies and gentlemen, we had conducted a preliminary research on the impact of this literacy club. So the survey was to measure numbers of books read by students within 2 months period, and the numbers of articles read by students in 2 months, frequency of a student visiting a library, online or offline, and also to measure the numbers of projects or outputs of this program. Let's compare this result with the research conducted by the National Library in 2017, which said that the average numbers of books finished read by Indonesian people a year are only 5 up to 9 books. And this program, ladies and gentlemen, successfully made students or forced students to read 1 up to 3 books in 2 months, or read 1 up to 3 articles in 2 months, and they visit library quite often, either online or offline. And numbers of projects are created by students 1 up to 5 projects. We also compiled the teacher's perception related to the students' motivation regarding this literacy club. For teachers, this literacy club significantly increases students' interest in reading and writing. It motivates students to be more productive, creative, and to be more critical. And also it increases the students' frequency visiting school libraries. And from the competency in reading, writing, and speaking, teachers see that this program could make students to become more confident, expressing their opinions, doing public speaking, moderating, and they have a better understanding in news, film, and even literary works. And it also makes students more productive in writing literary works. So in short, based on our preliminary survey on the club literacy impact, we can say that it increases student interest in reading and writing literacy. It increases the frequency of students visiting school library, and it increases at least student literacy skills. Unfortunately, our data has not yet shown that it increases student collaboration skills. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, our contributions give impact from teacher point of view as well as from student point of view. For teachers, our program improves their pedagogical as well as their professional competencies. And from students' point of view, it improves student 21st century skills, and it improves student awareness on the world diversity, building their good character and prepares students to be independent learners. And the literacy has improved the students' interest in reading and writing literacy. Ladies and gentlemen, we do believe that quality teachers create quality students and learners. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Please, Ms. Marcela.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anik, for the presentation. And now we will have the video clip testimony from SMAN 2 Tangerang Selatan on the impact of program or activities of SEAMEO to the school, please.
こんにちは。インドネシア出身のサバルです。南タングラン市第2国立高校で日本語を教えています。シャーメオ・エンランゲージが行った研修に何回も参加したことがあります。研修のおかげで教えるスキルが高くなりました。一番印象が残っている研修はポッドキャストを作る研修です。このおかげで今は自分のポッドキャストを作ることができます。シャーメオ・エンランゲージ、本当にどうもありがとうございました。
SEAMEO Kitab in Language help us as English teacher to elevate our professional competence through its programs, which bring positive effect to the English teacher in mastering their teaching material deeply, so we can deliver our teaching material better. Indeed, it also bring positive effect to the student in learning English because they can enjoy the learning process. Thank you, SEAMEO Kitab in Language.
De Seatil is einpassender Platz, die pädagogische und didaktische der Fremdsprache lernen zu entwickeln. Ich habe viele Erfahrungen und Kenntnisse bei den Seminaren und Verbindungen von Seatil bekommen. Eine unvergessliche Erfahrung für mich ist, wenn ich den Deutschunterricht in meiner Schule in der Zusammenarbeit mit Seatil verführen habe. Ich hatte auch die Chance, meine Erfahrung beim Unterricht in Covid-19-Pandemie in einem Seminar zu präsentieren.
Thank you so much, Sikil and the school for the video clip of testimony. And now we will move on to the last but not least presenter, which is from SEAMEO CSAP, Mr. Ed Futi. Served as a Deputy Director for Program in SEAMEO CSAP since 2018. He graduates his bachelor and master degree in science at Mechnikov State University of Odessa, Ukraine. He is also graduates another master degree from UGM Indonesia in political science focused on international relations. He becomes a civil servant at Ministry of Education and Youth and Sport Kingdom of Cambodia since 1994. Yeah, I would like to invite Mr. Ed Futi. The time is yours, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marcella. Honorable Minister of Education and Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia, Honorable Secretary General for the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, SEAMEO Secretariat Director, SEAMEO Governing Board members, SEAMEO Center Board of Director, and dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to apologize. My director, his hair condition is not good, so I represented him to convey information from SEAMEO CSAP. As SEAMEO CSAP is established in 2017, and then we come to the operation in 2018. So we just 4 years on the way, still very young. SEAMEO CSAP as the once regional center in Indonesia, one from 7 regional center in Indonesia, and one from the 26 regional center in Southeast Asia. Next, please. We are dealing with the early childhood care education and parenting. Our key function for the SEAMEO CSAP target and beneficial is become a research hub that collects and analyzes data and dissemination information and expert related to ECCE and parenting within the SEAMEO member country. That means in the SEAMEO regions, and active research engage with the international research partner to do the relevant networks to enhance quality and relevance of research and within ECCE and parenting. Our target group is children, parents, family, government, policymaker within the regions. Next, please. SEAMEO CCEP, we have three main programs. One is research and development. Second is capacity building. Third is advocacy and partnerships. For research and development, we build the regional knowledge, build research capacity, create knowledge and evidence through research, support evidence-based policy development. Capacity building establish a platform for to build in-house research capacity for our professional and practitioner, conduct or facilitate several training, research, workshop, and conference. Because we are still young, just 4 years on our ways, we should have many partners to support in ECCE and parenting. We should establish the enhanced research capacity building, and then also disseminate research finding for social media, campaigns, dialogue, and advocacy, some finding of the evidence to drive policy formulation and program designs. Our research, we are still very young, the youngest center in Indonesia. We do several research with the international institution, like in collaboration with UNESCO Bangkok on the innovative financing for ECCE. And second one we do with the survey of teacher in pre-primary education. This one in collaboration with the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. We also do with the SEAMEO Fund tentang ECCNE model development. And also we work with the international plan in Indonesia to conduct the research. Next, please. Capacity building, ECC and parenting in Southeast Asia. We conduct in Cambodia, the training for ECC teacher in Cambodia, in Timor-Leste, in Vietnam, and several training we conduct in Indonesia, like in Lampung, Tasik, Jepara, Lahad, Bandung, Jakarta, Aceh, Bali, dan Batam. This is our several effort for trainings to improve the quality of the competency of the ECC teacher. Our e-training, we develop a platform to conduct e-training. That means teacher can develop their capacity by following these e-trainings. Next.
Excuse me, kindly reminder for the time slot is like 2 minutes left. Okay. Yeah.
We conducting the building program. Participant until now is 5,388, and from the other countries 162. Next. I speed up, please. This is our webinar in 2010. We conduct 18 webinar. Our participant until 31,205 is from the 6 continent of the participants. Next. Advocacy partnership, we do the MOU with the government, university, partner and local government in the region in Indonesia, also with the international institution. This is our partner. Next, please. SEAMEO CCEP developed the online bilingual online program training. We conduct the training in collaboration with the IPB University on the 3 asas. It is developing competency of the politeness and with this ministry, we do this, what we say, in, from English to local language. With the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport in Cambodia, the conducting is newly 27 at until 30 April 2021. This is the research hubs that we will ask the research hub data collecting and other finding and developing best practices, and will be disseminated to Indonesia and to Southeast Asia. Next. This year we also would like to conduct the model of the HD that advocating ECC center to improve their teaching and learning quality to a certain standard. Next. This is exchange intensive and exchange student to support the minister policy and to do the what we say internship of and exchange student to be a good student with the competency output that oriented by the Ministry of Education based on BMKM. Next.
Sorry, Mr. Itfuti, the time is up. Maybe to conclude
this is a training for teacher. Maybe just see if the participant want to get our slide, please contact to the SEAMEO Cecep with the www.seameo.cecep/SEAMEO, and then you can get contact to us and can ask for the presentation. Thank you very much. I give back to Marcella as the MC.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Itfuti, for the presentation. And now we will show you the video clip testimony from Sekolah Alam Insan Mulia, please.
Di webinar yang diadakan oleh SEAMEO CISEP, di mana kami menyampaikan best practice, pengalaman terbaik kami, pembelajaran bermuatan STEM di TK Sekolah Alam Insan Mulia, Surabaya. Kami juga mengikuti pelatihan-pelatihan, webinar-webinar, maupun parenting yang diadakan oleh CISEP, begitu ya, sangat menambah wawasan kami, pengetahuan kami, bagaimana membentuk pembelajaran pendidikan anak usia dini yang lebih bermakna, lebih berkualitas. Apalagi di masa pandemi ini, kami sangat-sangat perlu sekali inputan bagaimana pembelajarannya efektif, sekaligus yang sesuai untuk anak-anak rentang usia 2 sampai 6 tahun, yaitu di jenjang pendidikan anak usia dini. Harapan kami SEAMEO CISEP ini kehadirannya sangat bermanfaat, terutama bagi para pendidik, anak-anak didik tentunya otomatis disaringkan, maupun orang tua. Karena SEAMEO CISEP ini merupakan lembaga riset yang bergerak di bidang penelitian dan pengembangan. Dan selama ini sudah banyak sekali penelitian yang sudah dihasilkan dan disosialisasikan, di-sharingkan kepada kami, para pendidik di lapangan, kemudian untuk pendidikan keluarga, juga tentunya sebagai rujukan bagi guru maupun orang tua untuk peningkatan kualitas pendidikan anak usia dini sekaligus pendidikan keluarga di Indonesia.
Okay, thank you so much for the video clip testimony from the school and from the CISEP. And now we move on to the question and answer session because we have a very limited time. The committee have select 2 questions. We're really sorry because the time is very limited. So the first question from Ibu Dini Siti Anggreni. please explain what are the programs owned by the 7 SEAMEO centers to support the Merdeka Belajar program, which is promoted by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology of the Indonesia, especially for teachers in remote areas who have limited facilities. Maybe this question, I would like to invite Dr. Alpha maybe to kindly answer these questions, please, Dr. Alpha.
Thank you so much, moderator. I'd like to appreciate Ibu Gini Siti Anggraini from SMK Negeri 1 Bandung for these questions. This question is actually aimed to all centers, but I would like to say that SEAMEO provides free online training about how to maximize the use of practical tools for teachers to improve the quality of learning materials in their digital class, and making it more engaging and interesting for teachers to be more creative with students. And for students, SEAMEO also provide online competitions in cells to increase the skills of higher education graduate in Southeast Asia. Currently, SEAMEO is preparing a program to support Campus Merdeka by giving opportunities to higher education students to do online internship at SEAMEO. However, your questions focuses also more on the teachers in remote areas who have limited facilities. We have a gadget called Sierra. This Sierra is designed in a way that users do not really need internet. Of course, we need internet to upload the materials, but for day-to-day use, this gadget doesn't really need the internet. So it is already being used in remote areas. It is also used by students in Indonesian students in Malaysia, and also in other remote areas in Indonesia. So I think this is one of the way that SEAMEO can provide, especially to promote and support the Merdeka Belajar program promoted by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Alpha, for the very brief answer, yet very explanatory. And now maybe we move on to another question. We're really sorry. This is the last question for the current session, please. Yeah, this is from Rina from SMP 1 Mandau, Bengkalis, Riau. How can our school get help in terms of learning models that can be applied from SEAMEO? And how to make my school get assistance from SEAMEO? Maybe I would like to kindly invite maybe from, is there any centers would like to answer this question? Or maybe from Dr. Ani?
Excuse me, Marcella, are you calling me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you were lost just now. Okay. How can our school get help in terms of learning models that can be applied from SEAMEO? So specifically for SEAMEO Kitabin language, you can access our website, and all our learning modules are can be downloaded from our website. And regarding these modules, if you have further questions, just keep in touch with us or email us about the details of the use of these modules. And we, in addition to modules which can be used by in a training session, we also have modules which can be used by teachers as a self-learning modules. For further assistance from SEAMEO Kitabin language or other SEAMEO centers in Indonesia, I think you can just contact our social medias or our websites for further information. That's my response, Marcella. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ani. Before we close or we end this panel session, maybe any directors from SEAMEO would like to add something before we end our current session, because the time is already up, but maybe would like to add something before
Okay, I would like to add something because if your school would like to work closely with our center, we should have the MOU signing with your school, and then we work very smoothly by the under umbrella of the MOU. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. We're really sorry for the question that haven't been answered, but because of time constraints, once again, questions are very limited, but participants may ask further questions through the social media of each center. So please make a very active engagement through the social media. Thank you so much. And to conclude this session, I want to thank all panelists for their valuable contributions, and also, of course, for the active participation from the audience. We really do appreciate your interest in this very important issue. Thank you. And now I will return the floor to the Master of Ceremony.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Marcella, for such a punctual sharing of yours. And thank you, respected Board of Directors, for the information given. We hope that all participants could gain much benefit from the information presented during this session. It is our pleasure to inform you that more than 1,000 participants joining the Zoom meeting and YouTube channel.
So ladies and gentlemen, before moving to our last item in the agenda, may we request all participants to fill in the evaluation form with the link that is available in the chat box. We also provided e-certificate for all participants for those who successfully fill in the form. May we also inform the materials of this webinar are available at the website of SEAMEO Centers Indonesia through the link at https://seameo.kemdikbud.go.id.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Rima. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as our last agenda, yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as our last agenda, may we have the honor to invite Dr. Hendarman, the Director of Bureau of Cooperation and Public Relations, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia, to deliver his closing remarks. Dr. Hendarman, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mbak Rita. Honorable Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia, Honorable SEAMEO Secretary Director, Dr. Ethel Valenzuela, Honorable Directors of the SEAMEO Centers in Indonesia, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Through today's international webinar, I believe all of us have obtained fruitful information on the accomplishments and experiences of the centers in performing its various mandates through their programs and activities and products and services. We also had the opportunities to share ideas, National Education Day for strengthening and synergizing our joint efforts in developing education in Indonesia in the Southeast Asia region. For those reasons, I would like to convey my highest appreciation to all of the speakers, especially the 7 directors of SEAMEO centers in Indonesia. And the video clip presentations of testimonies of selected school heads, teachers on the impacts of programs, activities of the 7 SEAMEO centers to their respective schools has proven and convinced us how each center has been able to support and motivate schools and other related organizations as well as stakeholders to survive within this COVID-19 pandemic era. The initiative taken by the centers has been definitely in line with the policy of Merdeka Belajar, or the so-called emancipated learning. A point that we had from today's international webinar is how each one of us can contribute in answering global challenges, including by finding solutions
to the educational problems, not only in our country, but also in the region. Attending webinars such as what we are doing right now or other human resources development programs can be one of the strategies to prepare ourselves for it. In preparing the Indonesian youth to face future challenges, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of Indonesia also considered the importance of strengthening our character education. The aim is to equip our youth with 6 qualities: able to think critically, able to collaborate, being creative, being independent, pious, and noble. We call our students with these qualities as Pelajar Pancasila. This Pelajar Pancasila is the generation who we believe will be able to keep up with the rapid changes of the world. I'm glad that we have today's webinar, but I do believe that we do not think that today is enough. We need more initiatives like this seminar. I learned from the committee that in around 3 weeks from now, the 7 SEAMEO centers will also have a virtual expo to showcase their products and services. I'm looking forward for it. Once again, I would like to thank all the presenters, the participants, and the committee members for your great works and contributions. See you in next year event. Stay safe and healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, the closing remarks concluded our webinar today. We wish this activity will inspire and motivate us to continue our effort in developing and improving education in Indonesia and the Southeast Asia countries. Let's build our legacy for education together.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, kindly be informed that SEAMEO centers in Indonesia will participate in the virtual exhibition on celebration of the Indonesian National Education Day on 21st up to 23rd of May 2021. You are cordially invited to visit our virtual booths.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please follow our social media accounts of Kemdikbud or the 7 SEAMEO centers for updated info regarding the virtual exhibitions, as well as the beneficial programs offered as research grants for educators, students, competitions, public free training, and many more. You can screenshot the information shown on the screen as the reminder.
Okay, really sorry for that. Probably the IT person will try to share screen again. So ladies and gentlemen, finally, thank you for your attention. We wish to see you again in other learning activities of SEAMEO. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are signing out.
Thank you all.
You're welcome, Pak Misbah. Thank you so much.
Terima kasih ya semua.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Ibu.
Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Semua, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Bapak.
Terima kasih, Mbak Rita.
Sama-sama, Pak Herman.
Terima kasih, Pak Herman.
For pleasure, Pak.
Terima kasih, Pak Direktur semua. Ya.
Mantap memang.
Semua untuk teman pelajaran tim. Mohon izin, Liv.
Terima kasih, Pak Agus. Izin undur diri. Terima kasih, Pak Direktur SEAMEO Biotrop.
Terima kasih. Terima kasih, Mas.
Terima kasih Pak Herman penutupannya.
Terima kasih, Pak Alfa. Ya semuanya, serta